is coming as a result, like that just strength and connection.
Yes, I agree. I'm wondering if she's having problem. Did you request her video as well, Grace?
I did, yes.
Yes, and I've joined a couple of new groups as well online, on various different subjects. And again, I wouldn't have done this as much before the lockdown, and it's really good because it widens my network. So there's a fitness group, there's a wellness group, which are all good additions to my network because audience wise and possible clients as well. That's really helpful. But just generally to meet people doing different things is really interesting.
Hiya.
I think
we can't hear you yet, Jerona. I think we can hear you now. I heard something.
sounds like a little mouse. She's typing something, I think. A little mouse typing. Is that you, Grace, or Jerome?
That's me, yes. I just messaged Carmel because she said that she would be joining us the other day. So
we have Jerona back.
Hi. Oh, we can't hear you still. Oh, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if there's a problem with people logging in, because Jerona, I've just seen your message, Jay, to say that you needed the meeting code.
That's, yeah, the password.
Yeah.
You look lovely, Jerona.
You do.
So who's
Have you found any nuggets of like wisdom this week? Anything that you found really useful?
Slowing down, and you know me by now, Grace. I'm very much about planning, and for me, I need to take the time to plan everything, structure everything in order to before launching it. So again, this week I took the time rather than rushing into things to plan before launching my 2 events this week.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned earlier, everyone has different ways of working. I'll be interested to hearing more from Gemma.
Yes. Yes, Carmel's just messaged to ask how does she join.
Okay, let me send her a messenger invitation.
Yeah.
with all the login and passwords.
Okay.
I just sent it to her.
Okay. Jay, I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Let's type. Oh, she's connecting audio, Grace.
It's been saying that for a while though.
Has it?
Yeah. She's on it on her phone, I think, and her laptop because
That's why we had two Geronas.
yeah. I think you need to log out of one of your devices, to, Jonah, if you can hear this. Right, I think what I'm going to do is... Oh, there we go, great. And then Jonah, this screen, if you can hear me, this screen that you're on now, you should be able to see a little mic at the bottom somewhere, and it should be red because you're muted. If you click the mic, it will unmute you. I think you probably already know because I know we've had you on here before, but just in case. Did you message Oh, okay.
Yes, I messaged Carmel.
Okay.
Laurie's not joining us today.
Okay.
She said.
And how about Roxy? Is she still around?
Roxanne?
You said that there was, yeah, Roxanne, yeah.
Let me ask her.
Oh, okay, hold on. Invite member. Sorry.
Gemma's got the logins. She's got everything. Carmel is here. Oh, she was here. She's gone.
Oh.
She'll probably come back.
Hey. Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
Hello, Carmel.
Hi, how are you?
Nice background you have there.
Thank you. It's nice, isn't it? This is what my house looks like.
Your new office.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Carmel.
Nice to see you too, Ariane.
How are you?
Who else is there? I'm good, yeah. I'm very good. How are you getting on?
Yes, adapting. The word is adapting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been like this since like early March. So it's been a long it's been a long few weeks, but it's become normal actually.
Yes, we're all sort of getting into things right now. We can see you. Grace, you're muted.
Hi, Sam.
Hello, Sam.
I think they probably can't hear us. Yeah, they probably can't hear us at the moment. Can you hear us, Sam?
I just stopped the video for a minute, Grace.
Oh, okay. Yes, my dad's just showed up, so he's like peering over our garden. So the dog's going crazy. He's barking because he's so excited to see him because he hasn't seen him in ages, and he set all the other dogs off in the neighbourhood. So just to let you know, and if the boys might run down, and there's clap for NHS at 8 p.m.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, so
well, we'll do it together.
Pause. Yeah, I love to go outside in the garden and clap and see everyone else joining in. It makes me feel so emotional every single time.
Yeah.
Do you have my brother-in-law is a doctor, so it's close to home. Do you have any friends or family working?
Yeah, friends that are nurses and work in the work in like hospitals, and carers, friends who are carers, and my cousin, and friends who are in the police service. And
yeah, so it's close to home, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can we hear Sharona? Hello, Sharona.
I'm gonna phone her quickly.
Oh. So Carmel, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes.
So what have you got coming up? Any exciting online? I've seen one post that you shared on.
Yeah.
So tell me what it is.
Yeah, so I have a 3-series workshop coming up, starting on the 29th of April.
Yeah.
It's to overcome your imposter syndrome and embrace your authentic self. So it starts, they're 1-hour workshops every Wednesday at 1:30 p.m. Basically, I'll be covering what is imposter syndrome, the impact it can have on people's careers, and who has it, like famous people, etc. And then helping people to embrace their authentic self. So there'll be lots of exercises to help people to connect with themselves and build their confidence and go away feeling a bit more motivated and more excited about going into their careers. Usually they're basically like, people, I support high achievers, people who are in corporate world, but also it can be people in the business world who feel that they feel like a bit like a fraud. They're starting out.
I think, Carmel, this is perfect for now, because there's a lot of people who used to have a job who don't have a job anymore, who had a side business but weren't really into it, but now getting really much more into their side business, and they very much might have that imposter syndrome. So I think you're spot on that subject, Carmel, I'm sure you'll be able to help a lot of people. How can they find out more about it?
So they can contact me on Facebook or on LinkedIn, on Instagram, whichever. You can email me info@karmalifecoaching.com, and I can give you more details. Be happy to answer any more questions about it. And you can follow me as well. There's plenty of posts about it.
So make sure that you, below our e-meeting, below this, just leave your details, Carmel. This way people are able to get in touch with you. I think it's really a really good workshop, especially for now. I personally had to adapt as well what I'm delivering to help people that need help right now and urgently, because that's the hot topic, helping people now. Your workshop, how much is it if people want to attend?
So they're individually priced, but you can get all three for £60. Or you can, if you bring a buddy, the two of you can get it for £50. Otherwise, you can pay for them individually. The first one is actually only £10. An introduction. Yeah. It's called an introduction to imposter syndrome. It's only £10. And then the other two are £35 each. So for the three of them, you can get for £60. So the second workshop is called Managing Your Imposter Working from Home. And the third one is Embracing Your Authentic Self. But, you know, it is obviously advised to go to all three so that you get the most out of it.
Sounds amazing, Carmel. So do share the information. I know you shared it on Gaia notice board, which is great. Share it later below there as well.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ariane. That's great.
Hi, sorry.
Hello, Sharona.
Okay. Hi.
Hiya.
Oh, my days. Oh. How are you guys? All right?
Good. Nice to see you, Sharona.
Huh?
Nice to see you.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I'm trying to get through it. Take a bit of, you know, but I get there.
Yes.
We have just Gemma joining us as well.
Okay.
Okay. Oh boy, man.
Did you hear any word back from Roxanne, Ariane?
Let's have a look. I'm going to let you introduce Gemma, Grace.
Okay.
While I do that.
Yes.
I'm going to make Gemma co-host. Okay. Let's have a look. No answer from Roxanne so far.
Okay. How are you, Jerona?
I'm all right, thank you. I've been busy doing loads of stuff. Oh.
Good.
But this lockdown, wow.
Oh, yeah, I know. Hi, Gemma.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can see us and hear us. We can't hear you yet, but we can see you.
Okay, hold on one
I
second.
can hear you now. So, yeah, I can see already what's happened. She's taken herself out into the garden.
Is that any better?
Yeah, we can hear you, but now I think you're probably a bit far from your Wi-Fi.
Technology. Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, but you're coming in and out. I think you're a bit far from the Wi-Fi, maybe. I think if you can like shove a little bit closer to the house.
I'm trying to avoid the house where all the kids are.
I know. I guess.
Right there. Wait, hold on. Let me try round here.
Hiding from the kids.
I'm trying to avoid the children because they're all in the house, and I'm like, leave me alone for a minute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Is that better? Yeah, I can hear you as well.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I've
Hi.
totally missed all of the intros. I had to make dinner and kids.
It's fine. And our intros have been a bit like, so this is perfect timing.
Okay, perfect. Good.
So I'm going to introduce you to everyone. So Gemma, this is Ariane. You can see Ariane, who is titled the Gaia Network.
Hello.
She is the founder of the Gaia Network, who I run this with. Okay. And then we have Carmel from Carmel Life Coaching, who's waving.
Hello.
And we've got Jerona, who also does events, who's waving down in the corner.
Hello.
And Gemma, who is a friend of mine who I met about probably more than 5 years ago now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and Gemma is a mum in business. She has a really successful business called Iced Gems Events.
That's good.
I find her so inspiring. I love the way that she balances motherhood and business. Yeah, so I'm so happy that she could be here today and just kind of like share with us some of her, like her mindset. Gemma, your mindset I love, and I was just sharing with Ariane early on, one of the things that Gemma said is, I'm not a planner. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember this about you. She doesn't plan things. Like, I don't even think you had a business plan. Is that right?
And like Grace called me earlier, and I was like in the co-op buying like last minute fries for the kids. Like, yeah, I haven't even thought about it. I've not prepared. I've not thought about what to say. So I'll just see you at 7:30. Okay, I'll just be there.
Yeah. So I said,
like that. I'm terrible. I'm like, when I have meetings and stuff, I don't prepare. I'm just a bit of a freestyler, and I probably means that I talk a load of rubbish. But then
I don't think so. I think it really works for you, and it works for your style.
Yeah, it's just not, like that robotic kind of where you've got a list of questions and whatever, or that sort of prep thing. It's just not me, to be honest.
Yeah. So before we dive in, Jerona and Carmel, I thought we'll kind of just freestyle, as Gemma said. Ariane, let me know if you have any thoughts as well on this. I thought we'll just freestyle as we go along, and then Jerona and Carmel, if you have any questions or if anything pops up, just take a note of them, and then we'll find windows to have a conversation and chat about it. I feel like it's probably going to be like a flow of how you intuitively build your business. And because one thing that I get with you, Gemma, is that you're so aligned with what it is that you're supposed to do that things kind of work for you. Like you never really come across as you're just solid and you know what you're doing. So I thought a question to start with is, can you tell us about your upbringing?
My upbringing's a bit unusual. I mean, I lived with my uncle actually from the age of about 14. I basically lived with my mum and my siblings. I've got three sisters, one brother. We all lived with my mum, and then it was social services, whatever, got involved. Ended up living with my grandma, who became my guardian. She died about 6 months after moving in with her. So then I lived with my uncle, who was trying to think how much older he was than me. I think about 15 years older than me or something. Lived with him, who was my mum's brother, and my older sister, who was 2 years older than me, because she'd always lived with my gran. And then she passed away, and then sort of about 10 years later my uncle passed away because he was depressed because my nan dying, he basically drunk himself into an oblivion. And then, so yeah, from about 24, I've kind of just been by myself, really. Because I remember he died the year before I had my daughter. So my first daughter, she's 11 next week. And that's it, really. So I don't really have any family. I don't really have family or like a support network. So I've kind of, what I've built up literally myself, like from scratch. Like I've never, you know, relied on people or had people to rally around me, getting my kids from school or helping. My team of staff are actually mostly my babysitters, so they all help me, and have helped me massively, to help sort of where I am today. And that's it, really. So yeah, not quite your average 2.4 children or whatever. I mean, my uncle had a business, my uncle and his partner, so you know that I was always kind of, I guess, what people call like a hustler from an early age. When I was like 13, I was silver servicing in a restaurant down the road, and then I was working on a Saturday in Sports Direct, and then I was also working some evenings in his shop running sunbeds and stuff like that. So I was always kind of hoarding money and trying to do as much as I can. And then I worked in a bank, so I was doing call centre stuff like that. Then went on from that to doing mortgage underwriting. Went on from that to be doing it more sort of on a sort of national level, where I'd sort of travel to different brokers, like mortgage brokers, and actually assess mortgage applications on site. But I'd always wanted to like work with children or do some sort of youth work. I used to do volunteering for like the Youth Offending Institute and things like that. Sorry. Yes, okay. Update on how much they've eaten. And then so I was doing that, and then basically got made redundant. So the credit crunch, which was, I think it was in about about 2008 or 7, so the last sort of dip that we had. I just bought a house in Wolverhampton, which I'm still I'm literally trying to get rid of at the moment. It's so annoying. And I had a seller, and they dropped out like just before all this coronavirus happened. So I'm like, great, now I'm not going to sell it. It's really annoying. And then I moved to London, started doing recruitment. I'd always sort of, like I said, wanted to work with children and had that little kind of spark of doing something like would love to be a teacher or something like that, just working around kids. Moved to London, met the dad of my children pretty early, got pregnant pretty early, was working, doing recruitment, then stopped. We moved to Brazil. While I was in Brazil, I kind of was volunteering at an English school, and whilst I was there, just doing it was when Will and Kate got married, so whenever that was, donkeys ago. I don't even know the year they got married, but I remember planning like a party and, you know, cupcake decorating and stuff like that. And at the time I was pregnant with the twins, who are now 9 Halloween, so they're 8 at the minute. And then we sort of came back to England, had the boys, and then I think when the boys were about 2.5, because I've just never been that sort of sit in the house kind of do nothing person, which suits some people, but I have to be constantly busy. Even during this lockdown, like I've said to some people, I don't know how I used to fit work in, because I feel like I'm non-stop, but it's actually just running the house or tidying or feeding the kids or picking everything up or doing everything. And so then I started making cakes and literally like getting people to buy them. I just found this recipe, because I've always been like a big sweet tooth foodie. Found this recipe which I can share. It's amazing for a sponge cake. And was doing cupcakes and like taking orders, and then all like the fancy like intricate details. I was like, right, I'll watch YouTube, I can do that. I know how to do that, I can do it. I'm a bit of I can do everything sort of person. So I started doing that, was selling some, and then I just thought, oh, well, I should do cake decorating parties for kids. That's a good idea. I'll do it at Fates. So then I was like paying 25 quid for like a stall at these Fates, and I remember the boys must have been about 1.5 at one of them, and I was literally like breastfeeding them behind the gazebo, like when they needed feeding. Then like, yeah, that's £1, just join in. And I literally had like 3 bags of like icing. I mean, this will probably never happen now after, you know, COVID-19. It's probably like so unhygienic if you think about it, you know, all sharing these bags of icing, whacking the icing on cakes, putting sprinkles on, paying £1. I didn't really make anything, but it was good for like the advertising, for people to see like, oh yeah, we do parties actually, like we'll come to your house. And I think I used to charge something like £10 a child or something to go and turn up with 4 cakes and, you know, let them decorate, get to wear an apron and a hat and stuff. And then that sort of went on for a little while. Obviously I was with the kids, and their dad worked full time and he didn't really support me that much, so I was kind of by myself trying to sort out the kids and then do that. And then I emailed Croydon. They've got a shopping centre and they used to do a kids event called Whitgift Weenies. Just emailed them on a whim, like, oh, I do this. And she was like, oh yeah, come in and have a chat. And I was like, I remember like thinking, oh my God, what am I going to say? Or like, I don't even know, like, what if she starts grilling me about my experience like I have none. And then I just went. She was like, yeah, we basically need like 3 Saturdays, 200 kids a day. Can you do that? And me, like a mug, I was like, yeah, I can bake that. Like, not even thinking like, why aren't I buying all these cakes in? Like, now I'll just go to Tesco and buy like thousands of fairy cakes or whatever. So I literally was baking all these cakes, and I had my hygiene, I was registered and everything else. So we did that. Then on the back of that, I thought, right, I'm going to email loads of other shopping centres. Maybe it's a thing then. And I emailed Westfield in Stratford, and she was like, oh, actually, we're doing a campaign called Kids in the Kitchen. Why don't you come in and speak to me? And I remember going, and she was like, well, yeah, the company that we normally use, who are still one of our big competitors, you know, they're not really that creative, but your ideas are really good. So it was just things like, you know, like making lollipops out of like Rice Krispie squares, and decorating gingerbread men with fondant icing to make clothes for them, like just cute little, which is quite simple, but you know, that you wouldn't really think of. So we did that, and then off the back of that, it just kind of, because Westfield, they had one in Maryhill, which is in the Midlands, one in Derby, I think you've been there, Grace, one in Stoke-on-Trent, and they had a few different ones which then turned into so if you're nearest into, probably if you're in West London, is Uxbridge. So it kind of then, you know, it's just word of mouth. So once we'd done one, it just got around. And I think the first year I did probably about 50 workshops. Then the second year was probably about 200. And it's just kind of gone up from that, basically. But I know you asked me about my childhood. I can't hear you, Grace.
No, sorry. Yeah, that's amazing.
I just went off on a tangent.
I just definitely, Girona and Gemma are, sorry. All right, Charlie, that's the dog. Girona.
It was Girona because her mouth moved.
Oh, no. No, that's my dog. He's quite excited at the moment. Yeah, so Girona is so talented, so definitely connect with each other on Instagram.
Yeah,
she really is starting her events business and is a very talented, you've got so much talent in your field. I'm so sorry about that. She like talented table decorating. Do you do baking as well, Girona?
Huh?
Do you do baking as well?
Yeah, my cakes.
Decorating, the balloons, the cakes.
Yeah, and flowers as well. Just bear 1 second, I'll just show you something what I've done today.
Oh, go on.
Oh, okay, amazing. And then I think we'll, what I'd really love to, in fact, we'll pause for Girona to show us her masterpiece.
This is my first attempt today. Can you see that?
Oh, that's cute. Oh, what's that, with card?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've done that today. That's the reason why I was running so late.
Oh.
What are they? What are they for?
I'm just because I'm on a lockdown. I'm doing different stuff because I'm in the events business. So, you know, things like these you need to do.
Yes.
Nice on the business. Yeah, you know, like the balloon bunches, they'd look nice on those.
Okay, yeah.
Really nice.
They're really pretty, Girona.
Thank you. I've done them just now. I've just finished them.
Pretty.
Yeah.
One thing that I'd love to talk about, Gemma, is and Carmel, who is within within life coaching, and Ariane, is you obviously had like, is anyone there?
Sorry.
No, that's all right. You talk about like your upbringing, and it sounds to me like it was chaotic, which I can really relate to, like having a chaotic upbringing. How did you, because I feel like sometimes the issue with having an upbringing that's quite chaotic is that your self-worth completely dissipates. And I think in business and to be successful entrepreneurs, we need like a high level of self-worth in order to be able to go out there and have confidence in what we're doing, show up, send the email, say yes, I can do this. How did you hold on to that? How did you?
I think when it comes to business, like when it comes to probably my personal or love life, I am very much like, you know, that rejection like hits to the core and would really affect me. But in business, I think I'm so resilient, and I think that, you know, despite sort of the background that I might have, I think I've probably just always had that. It's about that positive sort of attitude, that mental attitude, you know what I mean? And like I would literally, for 3 years, I would be emailing the same shopping centre and being ignored, and then suddenly I'd get a reply, or I remember bumping into one woman and she was like, "Oh, you're Gemma." I'm like, "Yes, I am. I always email you. You don't reply." And she was just like, "Oh yeah, okay, so I didn't know that you do all of that stuff." I'm like, "Yes, we do." And then she's like, "Used us for 3 years." Well, she's just been made redundant. She did use us for 3 years. But I think it's just kind of, and I'm able to really sort of box things in my head. Do you know what I mean? So I don't ever like think about any chaotic sort of life or whatever I have or had. When it comes to business, like I'm just very astute with things. Like even now I'm like, right, lockdown's on, I'm prepared for not a busy summer. This is what we're doing. We're going to put on a summer camp. Let's do this. We're going to get some installations. We're going to just make loads of stuff up at the office so it looks like we do it even though we never have, and we're just going to bombard people and hire it out. Or like as soon as lockdown started, I got one, you know, Lily, who's the girl who does the Lab Interactive. I was like, right, Lily, let's do some videos. Let's see if anyone wants some craft videos. So literally just off the back of that, I made her like 1,300 quid just from doing those videos in the first couple of weeks of lockdown. I think it is just that, I don't know, just your attitude and things like that really that kind of help me. I'm very much like, I've never relied on, I'm very like self-reliant and independent, so I've never had like a coach, I've never had any sort of mentor, I've never like, you know, I would love to do that for someone else, but I've always felt like maybe I've got a bit of two people inside my head like telling, like voices like, do this, Gemma, and I'm like, yeah, I've got this great idea, I'm going to do this. It is hard to get motivated and to see things through, but I just think that I'm quite goal driven. Like what I do is, for example, like I said, that first year where we did about 50 workshops, second year about 200, like I'll sort of set myself a goal and like I'll do anything I can to try and get there. Do you know what I mean? So like this year we were on target to probably do about 600 events. We're not going to now, but last year we did about 520, so we were probably turning over, I think we turned over just short of 500,000. So it's just literally just honing in and kind of just being focused, and obviously, you know, my team helped me as well. They help it be less chaotic and help me to focus and stuff.
So like, how does anyone have any questions so far in regards to anything? I don't know, like, how are you with self-worth? How are you with, does anything relate? Does anything stand out? Jerona, Carmel?
I wanted to know, do you know what sort of thing you do? You have your own equipment to hire out, or you just get the events for your clients, or how do you do your events?
Yeah, we mostly do sort of like creative family events. So, for example, it could just be like a craft workshop in a shopping centre, or it could
Okay.
be like a sort of production where they'll probably spend like 20 grand in one day, where that will include like a stage show and storytelling show, bands, performers,
Okay.
so loads of
So-
different things. Yeah, it
so,
ranges
okay, like,
literally from
okay,
just a face painter for 200 quid
okay,
to that. Like it's
okay,
so vast. And
okay. Like like corporate events and stuff like that as
yeah,
well.
so yeah, so
Okay.
I outsource some stuff. We do have a lot of equipment. Like I've got a warehouse, but for example, if I wanted a magician, I'd outsource it. Or if I wanted a storyteller, then I'd outsource it.
Okay, so you source all the stuff for your clients.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do like weddings or stuff like that, or
Everything. Yeah.
everything?
I don't normally do weddings, but I'm going to probably offer that this year just because I know that retail's going to be one of the hardest hit
Yeah.
industries off the back of this. And I mean, it can go one or two ways. It can either go where a lot of them will be wanting to do something to get people in and not have much budget, so therefore they'll come to companies like us who aren't expensive, or
Yeah.
they're just going to put a freeze on spending, and then we need to sort of look at other industries like schools and maybe hotels. That's why I want to maybe do more installations.
Okay, because what I do, I've got I hire my equipment and stuff like that, because I do like chair covers, tablecloth, and centerpieces and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, but
yeah,
as I said,
we can look
I'm
later.
just starting out anyway. I'm just upcoming business, just getting my foot in the door. So yeah,
Oh well, good luck.
so it's nice. It's nice to meet you, and because you got the experience, and nice to talk to someone who been there and know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's what I need, and I need like the confidence to go out there and
Yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like what Grace is saying, with self-worth, it is a case of just believing in yourself and what you offer, and
yeah,
even like researching your field, for example, like what Grace does, like researching what's out there and just adjusting it to make sure that you're kind of appealing to like who you want to appeal to.
yeah. That's what I've been doing as well. So, and get to know the inside and out of the business. So
Yeah,
after doing a lot of researches, but it's nice to know someone or to speak to someone who is actually in the business and
yeah.
have years to get like a tips and things on it anyway. So
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm sure Grace will share the Instagram later. You can just message if you need anything.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be amazing. And Jerona, I think just because you've got so much talent, it's just a case of people knowing what you can do, and then you kind of build your stuff as you go. So I don't worry about having a warehouse now full of things, because you
Yeah,
don't
that's
need
like
it.
6 years. Like we've been doing it it took 6 years for us to get like that to the point that we need that, and we're running out of space now, but I'm like, well, not the time now to start paying out more.
yeah. I've got a bit of things though, because if I get say like a wedding or stuff to do, and I can cater for at least even 300 people.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so I've got everything where I can do like for 300 people, chair covers, tablecloths, centerpieces, and stuff like that. So yeah.
Perfect.
And Carmel,
Yes.
because Carmel, you've recently started. How long has Carmel Life Coaching been going on for?
Since it started in, I think, November 2018, around then, but I always say 2019.
And I wanted to ask, how is it with how is your self-worth with getting out there? Because I noticed you sent an email out the other day inviting people to come to your presentation talking about imposter syndrome. Have you had imposter syndrome yourself as a life coach? Like, do you still have any of that? How have you been, how does self-worth fit in your life, and how's that journey?
Yeah, of course. I think imposter syndrome is usually when somebody is changing from they're they're like, for me, it was from going from the corporate world to entrepreneurial world. They're very, very different. And you definitely, like, I remember going to my first business network meetings and thinking, oh, you know, I haven't a clue what I'm talking about. Who am I to come up with this business idea? You know, of course, I went through that. Sometimes I surprised myself and stepped into my power, but sometimes it depended, like, how I was feeling. Maybe I wasn't attracting any clients at the time, and that was starting to affect me, or, you know, and start to go, oh, maybe this isn't a good idea, etc. So yeah, but I think that for me, I think self-worth is something that you have to work on all the time, because you're always growing, things are always changing. Now look at us, we're in a lockdown again, we all have to handle this again, so we all have to, you know, up the self-care, keep our confidence up, keep talking nicely to ourselves. And, you know, what I like to do is, because we can get a bit scatterbrained in this kind of I don't know, like, it's like you almost need to create a day that you have to tell yourself, this is a different day, you know, or what day is it, isn't it? So, you know, it's good to write down, you know, keep a success bank, what you achieved today, even no matter how small it is. Dig deep until you find it, so that, you know, that you're not berating yourself. Because with imposter syndrome, you're kind of like telling yourself, oh, I got nothing done. And in this kind of a dilemma, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes, doesn't it? You know,
imposter syndrome, is that, I'm not familiar with that term. Is that when you're
feeling
okay, imposter syndrome is when you're feeling inadequate, you've low self-worth, low confidence. It's usually when somebody feels like a fraud in their current career position. And with imposter syndrome, like, it can have such you know, when it's when the person takes it to the extreme, it starts to affect their, like, they start to overwork or overprove themselves and exhaust themselves. Then they lose their life balance. They, you know, instead of spending time with the children, or even when they're actually with the children, they can't even listen to them because they can't stop thinking about their work or their bad relationship with their boss. You know, they're
a bit like that sometimes with work.
I mean, you said that, didn't you, Gemma? Like you said in the beginning, you felt like,
I can hear people clapping.
Oh yeah, wigging it. Take a pause, like, let's clap.
Yeah. So yeah, and it's very, very common. There's a bit of it. It's in all of us. 70% of people have experienced imposter syndrome. I think everyone experiences it at some point in their career, especially.
Yeah, I can be like such a workaholic at times, and literally just so like I will just be like with my kids, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm working, so you need to wait. But then it's kind of, I'm clapping. Clapping in the house. But then it's kind of balancing myself. Like, I'll sort of look at competitors and I'll think, God, they're doing amazing, they're doing that, I want to do that, why can't I be like that, why am I not doing that? But then I just look at what I'm doing and I think, I'm actually doing really well, so why am I even thinking like that? Like, it is just having that balance, like yourself as a person as well, to kind of, you know, bring your way of thinking around. You know what I mean? Like, some days I'm like, oh, I'm such a bad mom, I'm like telling my kids to like leave me alone because I've got this deadline. But then in the next breath I'm like, well, it's for them because I'm taking them to LA next week, so do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not now, but that's what I'll think to kind of get my head out of that sort of cloud kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
That's brilliant. Yeah, I love the fact that Gemma has said that as well. It's like she just keeps going, and that you haven't heard sometimes something for like years, and then someone will just get back to you. That's really comforting. Ariane, do you have anything to share, to add, any thoughts, any questions?
Yes, absolutely. It happens to everyone, and it has happened to me. when I was pivoting my business from my wellness business into small business consulting. Absolutely, it happens to absolutely everyone. And I'm very much like Gemma in the way where nothing will stop me.
Yeah.
So I don't take no for an answer. I keep going. I always find a way. I think it's a mindset. It's a mindset. You need to have a can-do attitude, especially when you're an entrepreneur, finding a way. And yes, it's definitely hard work, especially at the beginning. It's like you said, Carmel. It every day. Every day is work. Every day you're working on yourself. You're working on your business. It's nonstop, and it's almost like keeping your guards up. As soon as you bring your guards down, sometimes it creeps back in. And this is when you have to hang on. No, it's not happening. Or sometimes also you have days where you allow this to happen. You give yourself a break, and the following day is a new day. So
I'm terrible. Like, even like with this lockdown, it's sort of happening, and then I'm like, well, why aren't I doing that for business? If I was doing that, then this wouldn't be happening to me. I wouldn't be then, expecting quite a few months. Like, I need to do that, and then I'm like looking at things and ways and stuff, and I should be doing that. Oh, I'll do that, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can do that. I just need to chill, and I will do it.
I was just saying that earlier with Grace. This week, I have really slowed down on the business side of things. I mean, the situation has allowed us to slow down, all of us, and to take a step back, reevaluate, I guess, what is important in our lives, our priorities, business and life, make adjustments, adapt things. So taking a step back, I was telling Grace, I'm a planner. I like structure. I like planning. I don't feel comfortable without it. I can't work without structure, but that's everyone is different.
Very structured.
I'm a bit of both. But I have to say that I need to have structure. Otherwise, nothing will get done. Like, I have to have my plan in place, because otherwise I'll miss it. But I do completely understand you, as in, like, I kind of have had that experience where I haven't planned, and it's amazing how things might flow in. But as Grace was saying earlier, sometimes it's because it's aligned with your truth, and it's something that's coming easy to you as well. It's your strength, sometimes. And I think there has to be a bit of both. There has to be room for both. You have to have some plan, and then allow room for the intuition and the creativity to come in as well.
Yes, I completely agree. It's coming back to, does it feel right? Sometimes, yes, you have to push things, but if something really doesn't feel right, you need to listen to this as well. We women are very good at this. I think more than men, who will do it no matter what. So we still have to be in touch with our inner voice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have a planner, Gemma? Do you have a calendar?
I mean, when I say I'm not a planner in terms of like things like this, within the business, like, it's structured. Like, the girls have created like a Google, is it called Google Docs or something, like a rota where everything's on there.
A drive, Google Drive.
Yeah, Google Drive, that's it. All the rota, like their staff, they'll text everyone and who's available, this is who's available, this is what we've got, invoices, things like that, targets. And obviously, because when it comes to planning an event, like I said, we can have to plan an event that they're spending like 20 grand in one day, so you have to be so on point with all of that everything outside of work, I'm just like, whatever. It's just whatever. Which is quite bad sometimes, because even in my own personal life, I'm just like, oh, flipping hell, I forgot about that. But you can ask me anything about work and I will know it to the figure. Do you know what I mean? But anything personal, I'm just like, I don't even know. Like, I'll have to check my phone or ask someone else, or I'll text one of the girls like, oh, where's this? I've put this somewhere and I can't find it. And they're like, oh, it's here, Gemma. It's like, but with work and business like I am, so I really sort of put effort into that, and sometimes I feel bad because I'll even forget something for school, and then I'm like, oh crap, I'm like so bad, like I'm such a bad mum. But then I'm like, well, I'm not really, because I'm doing it for them anyway. Like, they're the ones benefiting from it.
I'd love to ask, like, this, how much do you do for free? Because I've got to this point this week where I'm like, I feel like I do so much for free, and I'm really looking at that at the moment. Like, what is normal? I mean, because I feel like you have to do a certain amount of free stuff for people because it's marketing, right? Sometimes you have to, show people what you've got and what you can offer in order for them to buy into you. And I think that's the same for all of us here, both for coaching, small business consulting. They need to know how good of a coach you are, how good of a consultant you are, how talented you are in your events. Somewhere, somehow, you kind of need to put out work and hope to be remunerated, if that's the word, later on. Like, how was that for you starting out? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Is everything always, do you charge for everything?
I do agree, definitely, but I've never really had to do that, to be honest. I give like loads of freebies away. Like, even just the other day, the NHS in Croydon, we had, I think it was 300 Easter eggs from an event, Croydon, that we were doing a dinosaur school. They were like, oh, we're going to give them to the hospital. So I was like, yeah, and they wanted to sort out delivery and stuff, and I was like, no, it's fine, we'll take them. And then I took them loads of decorations and loads of crafts, and literally like 3 big like boxes full of loads of stuff. So I do stuff like that for free, or like even the kids' school, I'm always giving them loads of stuff. I think I gave them about 300 bunches of daffodils Mother's Day that we had like to give out and stuff. But in terms of like free events and stuff, I don't think I've ever actually had to do. I've never been asked to do one, to be honest. And like, there's been times where maybe a company's been like, oh, can you do it for this much? And I'm like, yeah, of course. So I've done like reduced stuff, but I've never really I guess it's not really that sort of business, because I only really deal with corporate, like, it's just more, it's like shopping centres, and I deal more on the level of like the head office sort of, like Hammerson, for example, who own like Brent Cross, the Croydon centres. They've got one in Bristol, they've got one in Southampton, they've got Reading. So we do all of them, but I'll sort of deal with the head office really. So, and so I guess it's more if you're working with, maybe nurseries or schools and stuff like that, or actual customers, that you might be, well, I'll do a free party if you spread the word, that sort of thing, But
and same with like maybe coach. I don't know what
it's probably different, Grace, with services that don't require initial investments. Coaching and consulting is the skill that we share, unlike events where you have to provide items and also outsource staff, so that's costing you, whereas skills is slightly different. So that's a big difference, I'm guessing. And again, you're talking about an exchange, like Gemma mentioned. In terms of value, I deliver this, and in exchange, can you deliver that? So trying to find out a good balance of, this is what my event value is, what can you give me in exchange, equivalent value sort of thing, maybe. I'm just putting it out there.
Like advertising, for example, like someone could say, have you a fete or something, and not pay you, but then you can advertise, and then you're giving out your cards. You've just got to weigh up, I think, on an individual basis what's good for your business, because everyone's different, and every business is different, isn't it, really?
definitely. And just to let it whirl around in your head, Gemma, because I probably should have said this earlier on. Usually when the guests come in or come on Zoom, we ask them to give us a challenge if they can for like 2 weeks, like just challenge us to something so we can go away. And you know, for example, we had Shanice come in last month to do her social media challenge, and she gave us did she challenge us with anything actually? Did we get a challenge from Shanice?
Yes, we did. we had about 5 different tasks to do.
5 different tasks. Yes, I did, and I did definitely do them, and I learned a lot from Shanice.
What did you have to do? What did you have to do?
We had to put into practice what she had shared about social media on Instagram. So there were a few, for example, hashtags. What are the minimum requirements hashtags to share when you share an Instagram post? She also shared tips on how to take professional looking pictures with your mobile phone. And she really shared some amazing tips, didn't she, Grace?
She absolutely did. Yeah, I feel like my social media, actually, genuinely, my social media has shot up thanks to Shanice. Like
my social media, my work, my business social media, that's where we're not great at, like Instagram, Facebook. I hardly ever really, and to be honest with you, I haven't even got a website, because I had my website done. It was only up and running for a couple of years, and it's one of those things that it's been pending being changed, and it's only now that I'm like, oh my god, I need to get my website done. And so I've literally just built things. I think it's just like clients knowing me and being friendly with me, and also then just word of mouth, and just, you know, they see you doing it and they think, oh, like they're really good, yeah, let's use them. And
network connection, isn't it? That's what we're doing. Network and connection.
I don't network, I don't go to events, I don't really, you know, I just keep myself to myself. I don't, you know, even on my personal Instagram, I don't glow. I'm not like a sort of whatever sort of person. I just, you know, I just like to work and have that success for myself and just for my own personal sort of gain, like as in my head. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like, you know, I'm lucky to be able to like go on little holidays and stuff like that, but, you know, I think I live quite, you know, just whatever.
So maybe a challenge around like self-worth, or I don't something that comes to mind, if anything intuitively comes to mind to challenge us.
I'm gonna have to think. Or have you all got, what about like websites and stuff like that? Or see, for me, I'm very like on figures and stuff, so I love to, like, I'm always looking. I have like a spreadsheet with, for example, let me see if I can bring it up, and probably can't, because let me have a look if I've got it. Hold on. Hi, dear.
Who was on the phone to you?
I'm still on a call.
Oh.
My daughter. Yeah, I don't think it's on here because I've got
What should I put for text?
It's on another fob that's in the house. But, you know, like, for example, I'll have like my last 5 years, what I've done month to month from overall for the year, and then my target and like what I want to do. And what I also do is I write out the actual incomes, like if we do this many events, we'll turn over this much, and we'll profit that much. And so I have that even over achieving of, like, you know, based on like 700 events or 650, even though I probably realistically might not do that. It's just there, and I just love looking at it and just being like, that's what I want to do. I want to get to that. I want to do this. I want that. So that's, for me, is quite, visualization is quite a big one.
So that's really interesting, because that is as well planning in its finest, isn't it? Really, like down to the figures.
Yeah, literally month by month. I'm like, do you know what I want to, like, for this month, like this year, I know off the top of my head, I wanted to do, I think it was about last year, I think we did about 35. I wanted to do 42 for Feb, so I went up slightly. Biscuits. Then for like Easter last year, I think we did about 76. I wanted to do about 85. And then May, I think last year we did 42, including Father's Day. So this year I thought, you know what, we'll leave it at that, because we actually did over last year. But then summer, we did 120 last year. I wanted to do 150 this year. Halloween last year, we did about 78. I wanted to do 85. So just sort of small in some months, but then like Christmas, where we probably did about 110, or I think 130 last year, I wanted to do about 160. And then our monthly ones, I think were 24 last year, so I wanted to do 36. So overall, it probably was about 80 more. But definitely then I'll kind of think, right, so what are my outgoings? What they're going to increase? How many more people am I paying staff-wise? You know, that's what we'll end up with if we do that. So I really do go, and I go over it all the time.
And so you make it achievable. So you're setting goals, and you're making sure they're specific, which is one of the SMART goals, which you always hear in all the books that I read. Specific, measurable, achievable, something else, and the time frame. I need to remember what that is, but that's really interesting, because you're not really like, you know, you're not picking up like achieve your goals books and stuff like that, are you? Are you a big reader?
Not at all, no.
No. So that's quite a natural inclination for you, which is really interesting.
Yeah, literally just a spreadsheet, and it is literally just like so basic, and just, you know, my outgoings, like that's what we'll get if we do this many more events. And it's kind of like what we'll make afterwards, because what I do with like my events is I have a base price and I add all the costs, sort of thing. So, and you know, we do little things like even some centres where they might want us to buy a domain that's £2,000, and I'll just say, yeah, well, we'll add 10% or 15%, and it's 300 quid that like we'll make off it. So that's why, like, even, you know, it goes towards a turnover where it might be towards £500,000. Like, we're not profiting anywhere near that, but it kind of all, you know, on paper, if then we was to go to a bank or whatever, it looks like. And I've never ever had any loan or anything. Literally never borrowed anything at all, because I've literally started, it's just been organic how I've only sort of spent what I've put in. And that's why now, you know, I've furloughed the girls, because once things do pick up, if I've got to basically use the money that we've grown within the business to be paying and stuff like that, we won't have that money in the business that we need to get going again. Do you know what I mean? So it is just, I think just having the for me personally, the monetary goals are like what drives me more, you know, in social media and stuff like that, and obviously the, you know, the clients, sort of the retaining the clients and them coming back and having a positive relationship with them is what's sort of important for me.
And what matters really is the clients and the
and the girls, you know, like my girls, like they're great, and they you know, I do nice things for them, like, you know, they enjoy working with me. Like, I've got the same couple of girls, and you know, if she's got her little baby and she's like, oh, someone's let me down, well, that's all right, just bring her to work, it's fine. So, you know, I'm quite flexible and easy with them, as long as like they get their work done and I know that they work hard. Like, they'll then go home and all night I know that they'll be working on something, and I'm not paying them for that. It's like they really want to get their job done, do you know what I mean? And, you know, I'll do things like, you know, like we had that Love Island party. Remember, Grace, you came, like, you know, hired that. Or we went to Friends Fest a couple of months ago, and, you know, booked a spa day. So just little things that I think are nice to make them feel appreciated.
That's lovely.
No? So...
Jerome, does anyone else have, just because I know it's 8:21, so we're unwinding and wrapping up, does anyone have any questions, any thoughts, anything to add, share?
What I think I'll say, so for your task, is probably maybe put some sort of maybe figure or monetary spreadsheet maybe together based on since you started, what you've maybe, you know, what you've been making monthly or yearly, and then what you want to make. And just, you know, you don't have to share it with me, but just for your own sort of visualization, to kind of look at that and think, well, you know what, that's my target, and what sort of steps you maybe need to do to get to that, or, you know, how you need to maybe reach out to more people, or what you need to do to possibly get to that, I think.
So our homework is get out on paper in front of us what we have made since we started, month by month on a spreadsheet, and then have a forecast of what we want to make.
Exactly,
just so we can see it in front of us, and so we're really looking at figures, which is really good. How many of us do that already?
Sometimes, yeah. I wouldn't be consistent on it.
No, I'm not consistent.
But it's interesting just to see, and just like for your own, like just to sort of think to yourself, like, I don't know if your target salaries, whatever, like, you know, what you can do, or to get there, like maybe how many more clients you need, or how many more nurseries or something you need to take on, or how many more staff to get you to help. And you know, it's interesting. Like I find that a good tool. That's what keeps me motivated, to be honest. And like if I don't look at it that much, I get really stressed. I'm like, you know, when I go through my list of who owes what, like invoices and stuff, and I'm like, right, I'm going to write this down. Like I was doing it yesterday. I'm like, right, this is what we're owed, this is what I've got that, and this is what I want to get. So right, I need to work out what I need to do, right. And that's just really what drives me. It's really weird.
I love that.
Yeah. Well, because I just started, I can't do anything like that because there's nothing coming in for me.
But you can get a goal, or sort of how much, like, you know, what would you really want to be making from it, and what do you need to make that? Like if those flowers you make, you profit, if you were to sell them and you profited, I don't know, £12 or something each one, how many of them do you need to sell to get to what you want to earn, you know, just to give yourself a bit of a idea and a goal to work towards.
And also, Jerona, you've actually spent, I'm assuming, quite a lot of money, because you have invested in your business so far.
Yes, I have.
So it's time to like look at it and be like, well, I've spent this much of my money. That's the money that you spent and the time. How much are you worth now? How much? Yeah, like I think, because you need to start looking at how much you've spent, how much time that is, how much is that worth in itself, plus you should be profiting from that.
That's a good idea.
And everyone's different. Like some people want to just work just because they enjoy it, and like, but if you really want to like be, and success means different things to everyone, but if you want to like, you know, be that sort of entrepreneur where you are like, you know, hitting your figures and you're doing, you know, financially well and whatever, and you know, then that's kind of, for me, what is a way that
something to aim for. Sounds good.
Yeah. That's good. That's very interesting. Have you a question? Have you got a special way of structuring you admin paperwork regarding the events business, or?
Well, one of my girls, because it's interesting, because she actually did an internship with me. And she took like £20 a day that she got paid. Then she went back to uni, did a year, got a job in a pub, and then I was like, Sam, do you want to come and fill in for someone who's having a baby? And she was like, oh yeah. And then she's just like back again like normal and stayed. But she does all of my stuff like that. So, you know, we do, and for example, if we get an event booking, then we'll do like a booking form. So like a booking confirmation, which will detail, for example, the date, what we're supplying, what we're agreeing to, perhaps time, the amount. Then we'll also provide risk assessment documentation, or a method statement. It depends what you're doing. If you're just providing a setup and stuff, and to be honest, if it's a private client, they're not really going to ask you for a risk assessment or, you know, a method statement and stuff like that. It's more the corporations who need stuff like that. Obviously, public liability, you have to provide that. And that's to be honest, it really, after every event we do an event report where we send over like a 2-page document with pictures, with figures, because that's what's important to most of the companies that we do for us, because it's marketing. Figures, pictures, feedback, and even if we make it up, we just send four comments that parents have said, like maybe, oh my god, I can't believe this is free, or this is so creative, it's great, or I wish you were here more. So we just put those comments on a report and a quick little, you know, pictures and an overview. And that's about as much admin as we do, to be honest.
because that's what sort of thing I wanted to experience, because I'm starting up on the business. So I'm trying to get a lot of that, the admin side in as well. So I'm doing a lot of researches and stuff like that and doing things myself. But it's nice to like be in the environment where it's actually happening.
Yeah,
To
you
see
need
how
to be
it
organised.
actually, and get the feel of it.
Yeah,
So
I'd say
especially
if you're buying a lot of stuff, you just basically get yourself some little wallets and just organise your receipts, because if you need that for your, you know, your self-assessment and things like that, it's always good to, or
yeah,
even
I've got that bit, yeah.
or even an app on your phone. You can get apps where you literally just scan your receipt and it's
Yeah.
stored. Receipt bank,
Yeah.
I think it's called.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot of liquor stuff as well, but it's just nice to know, like in the environment, to actually see how everything really goes. Because you know, when you're just starting out, you haven't got the experience in it.
Yeah.
So it's good to be like around someone who actually doing it to see.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, but I'm doing all my researches and doing a lot of stuff anyway. So
Good.
that's good. Yeah.
Good. Anything else?
No, I don't think so, Carmel. Did you have a question? No?
No, I'm good.
Lovely.
Ariane?
Thank you very much, Gemma. It's
Yeah.
lovely to meet you, Gemma.
You too. Thank you so much.
much.
I love you. I'll send Grace my Instagram. If anyone ever wants to know anything or whatever, like, you can just message me. It's fine. Anything.
Okay, that's be great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your generosity
Thank you.
and
You're
your
welcome.
energy.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll speak to you later.
Go back to the
Okay,
kids.
then, bye. Thanks. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh, that's great.
Grace, are we on with your signposting tomorrow, Friday?
Yes.
Yes.
So this works with just logging in over Zoom.
Are
Do
you
I need
asking?
to create this link? Maybe we should talk about this afterwards.
Yes, let's talk about
Yeah.
it after. Carmel, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, so yeah, I will again. Sometimes I miss these things. I have so many meetups in the evenings during the week. So sometimes I get all mixed up what's on. So
well
yeah,
thanks
sorry
for
about that.
joining. Girona, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Carmel, your
I would
event.
miss it for the world. I was trying to get on. I'm like, I can't afford to miss this.
We could see you logging on for ages. So I'm glad we got there in the end.
Oh, definitely.
Just quickly, Carmel's doing an imposter syndrome event. But in your post, did it have that it was a Zoom and it was like
Yeah, there's some different posts out there, but yeah, it's written that it's an online event and it's on Zoom. I'm just going to say, like, I have a different post out every week with a different description. Don't want to be overpowering, but sometimes I just say inquire and contact me, you know, for more details. But yeah, there's some post going around that has all the details in it.
Okay.
I just sent it to I think underneath this comment box.
Okay, so
yeah,
you've sent us the information with everything, so we can.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very affordable. It's only £10 for the initial one, isn't it, Carmel?
Yeah, that's right. And if you want to go to all three, I think it like in full it would be like £80, but it's only £60 if you buy all three. You want to go to all three, and if you bring a friend or a colleague, even, it's only £50 for the two.
Okay.
So
25 each for
yeah.
25 each for 3 workshops.
Yeah.
And is it one-on-one or group things?
It's a group workshop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I do one-to-one sessions as well, but they're usually they're programs, 6-month programs.
Okay.
So one-to-one. So yeah, it's a group on Zoom, just like this.
Well done, Carmel. I shall be sharing that around as well. I just need to find.
Thanks. Yeah, do please, ladies. I'd appreciate it if you could share it around. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing. Cheers.
Okay.
Thanks for reminding me to pop on here as well.
No.
All righty, ladies.
It's lovely to see you. Thank you so
Bye.
much.
Stay
Bye.
safe.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Grace,
Bye.
I'll call you.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.